Hey guys, what's up? It's Devin here with DW Golf Co. again, and we're back here at Mammoth Pass Golf Course, a custom course that we're creating here in PGA 2K21. And we had just finished hole number 3, heading on to hole number 4. So this is going to be our first par 5 of the course. Just going to kind of bend it around here. Big dog leg left. And just looking at this, I can already tell based on previous holes, we can move this waypoint out just a little bit, so it's not right up on there. And sometimes I do take inspiration from things that are just randomly placed on the course, like this little piece of water. Makes me think, hey, what if we put some water right over here? Maybe a lake or a little pond right over here. And that could be kind of cool. So we may incorporate that. Now I'm looking at it. I like it. So there we go. This is par 5 right now, totaling out to about 649, 650. So it's a long par 5. And I'm okay with that. Alright, so let's start here at the tee box. Let's flatten that out just a little bit so that we have someplace flat to hit. I'm going to raise it up about a foot. And there we go. I like that. Go ahead and add in our surface for fairway. Just been brushing that circular brush. Trying to keep it all pretty consistent with which things we're doing there. Alright. Now let's go do our green over here. Go into the green. Go into the green. Yes, singing's free. You don't have to pay extra for that. You may want to pay extra to not hear it, but it's definitely not an upcharge on my end. Here we go. Here we go. So this green is obviously in a weird spot based on those rocks. It's pretty with having a little bit of water in here, there, everywhere. So what we may do here is just a little bit of trying to think of how I want this green to look coming into it. Let's do something like this. That way you can kind of have that. Close that, fill it up, smooth that out. Yep, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that green there. And then that right there is exactly what I was hoping for. Just run water all down this side, right up against the canyon. I think that kind of accomplishes that purpose. So let's go ahead and start with that. I'm just going to use the fuzzy brush here. I'm just going to push it down until I can start seeing water. And actually what I'm going to do, start out up here by the green. This will actually use the same brush that we used for kind of carving out some mountains and stuff. We'll use that up here just to kind of keep it organic looking, especially right around those rock edges. And it kind of, since it's not a fuzzy brush necessarily, it's more of a, it gradually goes down, but not as much as like that fuzzy brush does. So we can even wrap this around back here. I like that. It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna put there, I'm just trying to flatten that out a little bit, but keep some kind of cool shapes in there. Same here, we'll actually flatten this out. That way there's a clear, hey, here's the end of that, and whoop, I went the wrong way there. Let's just undo that. But it's still very organic-y. Yep, something kind of like that, and you can run all sorts of stuff off of that. I'm not sure that we want water necessarily all the way, but maybe a couple separate pools, a couple separate ponds in here. I don't have a problem with a separate one right here. Let's drop that about 4 or 5 feet. I don't know, maybe it does run the whole distance. And also varying your brush size here can get you some different effects. Spinning it, obviously. These are all tips that are out there. Just want to make it look as natural as possible without getting too crazy. We are in the desert, so you don't necessarily need to go too wild with how much water you have in it. Yeah, I kind of like that. If you've been up around Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, you have some cool little mountain areas and parks and stuff that have these kind of mountain lakes. And they're really pretty, like absolutely gorgeous lakes and such. And so if you can kind of mimic that look, I think you're in good shape. Kind of those rocks flying way up there. You don't typically think of places like this having awesome lakes and whatnot, but they exist. So what I'm going to do here, actually push this up so it kind of joins in with that. Kind of frames in the end of a little cove here. Before we start hitting the end of the plot. Maybe bring that up just a little bit higher. It's not all the same. Give it some depth. I think that looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. If we wanted to, we could come back down to this one, stagger it just a little bit to get a little more of a top to it. Cool, kind of reminds me of Wolf Creek in some ways. It's cool, obviously, but Wolf Creek's a gorgeous course. I can't wait to go play that. It's a bucket list course for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. So I'm going to go ahead and push that waypoint even further in. I mean, this is still just a mammoth of a hole. Like that. Cool. Let's now bump over to our fuzzy brush, and we can kind of flatten out some of this. If we wanted to make it more like a beach along this end, that would be kind of cool. Might also experiment with some retaining walls and such on this end, but I don't know that we'll do that. think that's real pretty. Just kind of give it a little bit of beachy feel to it. Zero problems with that. Makes that green awful small. Okay, so what we want to do here, since we took probably about 4 or 5 feet off of there, just sculpting that, I'm actually going to move this out just a little bit more, create a little bit more width on this green. Doesn't necessarily have to be deeper, just want to make sure that we have enough room to do some stuff. Let's smooth it out. Yeah, that's just fine. I like actually that green comes right up against there. Sometimes I have a tough time getting that to behave the way that I want it to, but that'll be great. That way, if you're penalized for getting too far over to a side, then you missed the mark. All right, so here we go. Back at it. Now we're gonna add in that fairway. Just kind of see what we're feeling here. I don't know how much I want to add to the back of this. I say let's go about here. And just follow this dude on out. Really narrow up right about here. Kind of like the idea of a 2-tier fairway in here. Excuse me. I like the idea of maybe a 2-tier fairway, since we have a little bit higher up here, a little bit lower down here. I can see that working out fairly well as long as you are able to execute it. We'll have it narrow up there. And this will just follow that line there, which means that we're going to have to find something interesting up here to do, just because it's such a long run of fairway. Up here we can kind of follow the coastline. We'll have narrows and wides and all that stuff. I like that. Let's close it, fill it, smooth it. Nope, not mirror handles. We want to smooth it. Just 5. Okay. We'll obviously go through and smooth all this here in just a minute. Edit. We want to toggle that second surface as rough. Okay. Nice wide landing area. I think I may make it less wide, because that's like a football field wide, and I don't think that we need to make it a football field wide necessarily. And where I may widen it is up here, that second landing area. I'm going to try to widen that out just a little bit, especially if we're going to do 2-tier. Let's delete that one. This guy. So him here. Let's delete that guy. Delete that waypoint. That. Delete that one. Yeah, it's easy to get really clicky when you first start out, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta edit all this. And yes, that's accurate. Cool, I don't think we need this point. I'll delete that one. Yeah, there we go. Still narrows up right around the green there, but as you can see, that's not a place that you want to be right here. What I may do is go ahead and extend some rough a little bit out there too. Alright, let's start sculpting. I don't mind these little knobs and stuff in here, but just try to soften it out a little bit. Start to drop this pretty significantly. And all I'm doing is using that fuzzy brush, kind of push down this part of the fairway a little bit more. And for fun, why don't we make this side a little bit lower? Right around in here. Flatten that out. I think maybe throwing a bunker right up here in the fairway might make this a little bit more interesting. So we're going to create a surface brush. Let's see what we can do here. Kind of like this brush for in the middle of the fairway bunkers. So you can do some kind of cool stuff with it. Shrink that down. And we'll pop that up just a little bit. Kind of a dual bunker thing. We are going to have to lower the front of this fairway, it looks like, right in here, just to make sure that we can see the fairway. That's important. We may also bump up the tee box just a little bit more. But this is about 400 yards from the tee, so I'm not worried about that being reachable. So I'd throw one of these guys up over here. This one's about 350. There's no way you're getting to it. This one right here will be reachable. And I'm just going to throw this one down for fun, but it's not. It's not going to stay this bunker shape. Because what I'm going to do is actually grab this guy and make it kind of interesting. Yeah, let's stay with clean shapes. Cleanish shapes, cleanish shapes. There's one brush that I found that makes some interesting cleanish shapes. I don't think it was this one. This one's a good brush, but I don't think that's the cleanish shape brush. That's not too bad. Cool, so this one will be reachable. That one less reachable unless you get a good rollout. Alright, let's sculpt some of this. We're gonna flatten this out just a bunch. And all I'm doing here is turning that brush around just a little bit. We don't need it to be quite that much anymore. Don't mind having some shape to it. I think you do need a little bit of a valley in here, just to still on the landscape flattened brush. Occasionally I'll jump into that raised brush, which is kind of cool. I have to be careful with this one that I don't get too carried away. Otherwise I'll end up in the water table, and that's not what we want. You have no idea that there's water over there, which is a problem. Yeah, there might be some indication that you can see that there's water. to the fuzzy brush. Let's try to level that out. Maybe even push this up a little bit right here. Let's see if I can get more of a square brush. Kind of frame this in for me. Push that back down. This is more of a ramp up over there. For those of you who are wondering what the heck just happened, I used a hard shaped brush so I can get kind of this jagged edge right there, and then used fuzzy brush to soften that out a little bit. All I'm doing right here is trying to remove some of those ripples right along the edge. So it's still interesting, just a little bit different. It's great. Use this fuzzy brush. It's a big fuzzy brush. I'll build that up a couple feet. Maybe at an angle going back that way. Okay. And kind of lower this side just a touch, about a foot or so. That way it's not hard to see that there's a bunker. And the same over here, just raise that a couple feet. Give you a little bit of an intimidation factor if you're trying to cut the corner there. And we'll push down this side just a touch, maybe a touch less. Now for back here, now we have something that looks interesting, or at least more interesting. I think what I could do is throw one of these guys right in here, so that it kind of frames that out a little bit. Then come back, grab this brush, smooth that out. This is what I mean whenever I say that I use the terrain a lot to kind of guide the design of the course. If you don't have some of this, it just looks real bland. That's not something I typically enjoy. I mean, who enjoys playing a bland course? Nobody. Push this down just a smidge. That way, you still see that bunker over there. Even these little knobbies, those are kind of cool. If it's done correctly, it can look nice. Just gotta think about it a little bit. Okay, that's kind of cool looking. Looking down this fairway. I mean, that's pretty nice. I like that. Sorry, this one's a little bit of a longer video, just taking time to kind of hash out where everything's going to be. Let's go back here to our fuzzy brush. Kind of prop this guy up. This one will probably be higher since it's in the back. This one can be lower. And obviously we haven't gone through and refined. I kind of like that idea, the stair steppiness. May add a third bunker over here just for fun. Let's add surface bunker brush. This one we may do something a little bit different. Maybe this shape. Throw this guy over here. this brush. Just raise this one up a couple feet. It's a sad person. They're like, oh no, I hit it in the bunker. And I don't know if that'll even come into play. Maybe we need to move that entire thing a little bit further up. Do a quick play test and see kind of where that ends up. Initially off the tee there, I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. So go ahead and whoa, forgot how to use the controls for a second. Drifting over toward that left bunker, that's a good spot. Still right in the middle. I don't mind these little hills and ridges. I want to bring up that really low spot, but yeah, this complex right here, not even near anything. So I want to move it up probably around here, this area, or maybe even up closer to the green. I like what's going on with it. I just can't do anything with it. And I don't expect this green to be playable at all. I just wanted to test to see. As you can see, we got that kind of two-tier thing going on. I think it's a little bit more playable than I thought it would be. Obviously nothing in it, because we haven't added any undulations really to it. We just wanted to get it on there. Alright, so there we go. I like the direction it's heading. We just gotta move these bunkers. After I sculpted for so long, I'm just playing. Bunker brush, we're gonna hit 6, then we're gonna multi-select, select that one, and select that one. And we're gonna hit 3 to move them all up here somewhere. Let's see. I think right here's probably a cool spot. And then right here, it's almost unfair if you put it too close there. Where's that second line there area? You got about 320 and about another 250, so I'd say that right there just kind of squeezes it even more. Yeah, I'm still not a huge fan. Let's select, let's move that again. I think up here by the green is going to be the best spot for it. Yeah, and then I can re-sculpt that. This is where you get good at sculpting. Whenever you have an idea, it's not the greatest, then you end up re-sculpting it. That's how you get better. Shrink down this brush a little bit. I don't really like shrinking down the brush, just because you end up with a more sharper, edge. I do like this bunker though, sitting right here on the edge of the green. I think that's kind of cool. Down over here to about 9 inches. And it creates kind of a little ridge there, which I don't hate. We'll just have to smooth that out just a little. By just a lot, I mean by just a lot. There we go. A little less crazy going straight off of there. Still has some slope, but not completely gone. Not completely there. Okay. This one more. One bad thing about kind of this darker dirt, it's harder to see some of the brushes. With this fuzzy brush, I'm just kind of guesstimating on it. Put that up about a foot, all the way around. You see where this bunker is. That's kind of cool. the Marauder's bunker. Okay, so do here. Push that down a little bit. That way, if I'm here in the fairway, I can clearly see that. So let's see, my first shot ended up right about here, right about where that 4 is. So I also want to get rid of that crazy dip in the... I don't mind that it goes down, I just don't want it to be all over there. So I ended up about here. From here, I can clearly see that there's bunkers up there. I like that. There's some rolling hills in there. It's going to be a little choppier as you get closer to that side. I'm okay with that. Push this little hill down a little bit. Try to make it a little less bumpy necessarily. That's fine. Maybe dump that down just a couple feet. It's still significantly sloped. Not to the point where this isn't just crazy. Just flatten this area down here. It's going to slope left. Not so much that it's going to be really bad. The high side, the low side. Actually, this brush right here is kind of fun for making ridges and such. Just a nice soft ridge. Pop it up a little bit. Up here you can clearly see that the fairway falls off to the left pretty hard. So that's kind of cool. Alright. Now from here, you can still see there's bunkers up there. A couple bunkers here. Maybe put another bunker around here. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we just add some more stone right along that ridge there on the left. And that might just give us enough something to make it happen. I'll just stick with this brush. It's pretty cool. You can kind of do some cool things with it. Like create ridges. Just use it to frame in this side. Maybe add in a little bit more. There you go. The thing about that is it also helps frame in your next hole number 5 over here. Let's talk about right, par 4. By framing in this side, it helps you to frame in that side. So it's not exclusive to just helping one hole if you do some good routing at the beginning. Now, let's get back to sculpting this Mamma Jamma here. We're gonna figure out what we're doing. Okay. I do like to put backboards up here. I think that having a collection area back here is a good idea. That way, if you just bomb one out of the back, there is hope. You aren't riding on a cart path all the way out there. So we're just gonna kind of flatten that out all the way around. That's not looking too bad. On the green, I typically don't use a ton of height on edits, usually try to keep it 1 to 2 inches, just because it gets really weird whenever you start making really big changes. So here what we're going to do is kind of put in a 2-tier, 3-tier green, I guess. So we're going to have top tier, middle tier, bottom tier. And that's going to help us to find some pin positions. I'm just going to kind of frame that out. Right side of the green is going to be pretty much deadly if you aren't careful. And here I'm just playing with what slopes I can get, trying to find some flat spots too. So right here, you can tell it all comes together, just as long as it's pretty flat there. Have this kind of hill right here, and really it almost seems like a ridge now. It just right there. You have to think people are probably going to be trying to go for it in 2 if you have the wind behind your back, so it's not a bad call, I don't think. I like having this rock back in the back. Kind of makes things interesting. Just throw that up to 1 inch. Just trying to get that flattened before it hits the rocks. Yeah, that's pretty good. Still gonna roll off the back, but not so much that it's gonna kill everything. Drop a couple inches here, not affecting too much. And sometimes these are the details that just take forever, but in the end it makes your golf course look a little more complete, a little less crazy. My dog's excited because it's now what time it is. I have no idea what time it is, but he's excited about it. He's passionate. He wants it. Cool. Alright, so now let's go back through. Let's add some rough here, just around this bunker that's right in the middle of the fairway. We're just going to size down that brush. Doesn't have to be anything special. The fairway does override any rough around here. This is one where a spline is also very good because let's see if I can find the brush that's causing that. So let's delete that. There we go. This is where a spline brush is very helpful because it can evenly do one of those instead of kind of sporadic. So if we do that again with just a spline, you can keep it kind of consistent. You have a lot more control after the fact as well. And since we have this guy over here, we should probably add in some rough that goes around there. See how this is all wavy, not really following the contours of the bunker. You can kind of fix that. And then if you like one curve, you can just cut through the bunker. We're gonna smooth this out just a little bit. See what we're looking at. Oh, it also helps if you do close the path and then fill the spline. And then you end up with some rough up there as well as down here. There you go. I don't know what's going on here. That's not right. Let's grab this handle here if we can. Yeah, I think that's what it is. If you are familiar with Illustrator, any Adobe product really, you're familiar with handles, brushes, all that jazz. This works similar to it, but not always the way that you expect, which is the challenge. Let's just try moving this guy down a little bit. Okay. And sometimes you move stuff and you're like, I don't know what that is. So this handle, let's move it down. Okay. Not exactly what I was going for, but it'll work. Okay, now that we have our green sculpted, we've got some bunkers in place. I probably need to go back through and sculpt those bunkers. Probably maybe for hole number 2. I think I forgot that one too. I'm just excited about getting these holes done. Let's go ahead and let's go into hole settings just so that I can maybe select this. Go. Sure, we'll move the waypoint. We'll stick it more central to the green, which is right there. Now it'll let me grab that. I don't know why it does that sometimes. We'll put hole number or pin position 1 way back there in the back this time. Add more pin positions. 2 is front left. 3 can be front middle, front right. 4 would be right on the edge of the falling off. I am curious to see how that ends up. That should be interesting. Alright, let's sculpt these guys. So what you want to do is shrink on your brush, get it to about 4 or 5 inches. Just go around the edge and color back and forth in the middle. I have a nice looking bunker I'm going for. So here, on the edge, that got really exciting. Just pulled that way out of there. Sculpt this out. Since this one's a little bit further back, it doesn't have to be as deep, but it should have some depth to it. Make that brush just a little bit bigger, give a little more area to sample. Okay. There we go. Nice little bunker action there. Forget about that. I'm gonna flatten this out just a little on the front end. I think I hate that. Yep, pretty sure I hate that. Alright, I like that though. That's looking nice. Alright, let's scoot back here. Bring that back up. Since this one's a fairway bunker, you don't necessarily have to have as much depth, but you still want to create some spots. Try to flatten that out a little bit more. If you want it to be more consistently flat, I found that if you use a wider brush, it's able to help with that. That's probably way too deep for a fairway bunker. Like that. That's not bad. Let's move over here. This bunker. Alright, here we go. There you go. I'm going to push this down just a smidge. Maybe about a foot. That way it's not so crazy out there. run back over that one more time on the inside. Make sure that that's good. Okay, surfaces. We're gonna add a little bit of more rough right there. There we go. Let's actually spline this into with rough. Just realized I've got all this stuff out here. Spline it in. So there are the positives and negatives to splining. One of the positives is that you get consistent shape. Let's close that. Fill it. Smooth it. There you go. Cool. I think what we'll end up doing, come over here and sculpt this bad boy. What we'll end up doing with some of these is just throwing those rocks, kind of like what we did on hole number 1. Throw those rocks in there, see what happens. Brush might be too big for what we're doing there. It's okay. Obviously not a spot that we want to be in. Shallow that out just a little bit. Okay. Cool, looks like a bunker. And one that's fairly deep, so you probably don't want to be in it. These on hole number 1 I already sculpted, so let's go through and play test this thing. We'll start from hole number 1. Let's do it. Alright, we're going to play test hole number 1. We're not going to change the wind speed, wind direction, anything right now. And we'll just play the whole course. Here we go, hole number 1, Mammoth Pass. There it is. Just right up the right side. I find that I often make these fairways way too wide. Early on I made them way too narrow, and so now we're somewhere in between. I'm going to try to land this right on the front of the green. See what kind of stuff we get here. Ooh, good bounce to the left. Trickles down, that's a good shot. Couldn't have drawn it up any better, other than going in the hole. That would have been the other one. Alright, hole number 2. I really like the way that this hole framed out from the tee. Looks really nice. I'm gonna try to cut this. Can't really see the green from here, but you can go for it. That's the risk-reward part of this one. See which way that kicks. That's gonna be on, but way back in the back. Yeah, tester for eagle. It does go down a little ridge here. Bites hard to the right. Speed's not bad. Just give it some more room. An extra foot of stuff. And still gonna be below the hole, but not a bad putt. There we go. Right in. Alright, here we are. Got par 3, downhill 5 feet. Got that ridge back there to kind of help me out here. I'm trying to draw it around. See if I can get it to land about there. Pin high. That's what we want. A little uphill right to left for birdie. Give it a little more oomph, a little more height. Oh, just out top. There you go. Alright, out of there with a par. Now our newest creation is par 5. Monstrous par 5. A little fast, lots of distance. Not gonna get too much of an effect on the shot. Ooh, a little side hill lie. Who doesn't like a little side hill lie for their second shot? You're really gonna trust your stuff with this one. Those bunkers are saying, "Don't hit it to me." Caught that ridge right in the middle of the fairway. Kicked you hard left. All right, gap wedge pitch. I'm gonna throw some spin on it. Lower the trajectory just a bit. See what this ends up doing. Hop, stop. Nice. Well, see that put in. There we go. All right. So there's holes 1 through 4 here on Mammoth Pass Golf Course. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any of the other hole or course updates. Be sure to hit that like or rumble button depending on which platform you're on. Until next time, thank you guys so much. DW out.